And for scientists, it is unequivocal. Humans are to blame. All this is entirely consistent with predictions and repeated warnings. The only surprise is the speed of the change. Climate change is here, it is terrifying, and it is just the beginning. The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived. The air is unbreathable, the heat is unbearable, and the level of fossil fuel profits and climate inaction is unacceptable. Leaders must lead.
So, opening scene there, you got to see Antonio Gutierrez, right, head of the UN, fucking melting down in a fearmonger episode. It just going on to tell you that the air is unbreathable. I work outside, I can breathe just fine. But, just going on and with the claim that, the weather patterns are in line with predictions, right? After failed claims of oil will run out in the 70s, acid rain's going to kill all the crops in the 80s. Fucking ozone layer's going to be completely depleted in the 90s. No ice caps in the 2000s. Here we are, the fucking Earth's boiling and we're all going to die, right? They just keep moving the fucking goalposts. This guy's an absolute fucking sham, just like the most of them. Grifting motherfuckers, right? Well, then days after that, a video of fucking reptile lord Klaus Schwab's daughter. Didn't think that was possible. But an absolute mutant of a fucking thespian seagull, if you ever seen one. A video of her resurfaced from 2020, where she was saying that the C-19 lockdowns were a wonderful precursor to see how the WEF's rollout using authoritarian measures would yield compliance, right? We know what those measures were. We're talking about, shutting down your business, preventing you from working, blowing out the money supply, inflating the dollar, limiting of shipping, controlling production, and of course, the lockdowns themselves, which they're floating around the idea as to address old climate changes, of course, right? When you talk about this shit or people see it, they're like, of course, conspiracies, just like the Great Reset itself, in case, I haven't shown it enough or you can't see it yourself enough times. A picture of Klaus Schwab standing in front of him posing with his book, The Great Reset, right? But, whether you think this is a conspiracy or not, days after that resurfacing and going viral again, energy insiders here in the United States come out and say that they're worried that Joe Biden is going to do exactly that, declare an emergency to address climate changes, which would give this guy sweeping powers, just like in 2020, where we know that they went about censoring speech, where you weren't even allowed to question forced experimental fucking medical procedures. And, or elections taking place at that time that, again, was used to corrupt that same election. And this isn't just anybody saying this. This is the head of Oil and Gas Production Association here in America, Tim Stewart. And, he's basically going on to warn you that this is what's happening and that behind the scenes, 60 Democrats have already signed on to and are pushing a bill that would make Joe Biden do exactly that, declare this emergency, which, again, they want to do before the election cycle, right? The primaries have just started. And it seems that the indictment after indictment just is not working as Trump's poll numbers just continue to climb. At this point, every Republican running is fucking done. Like Trump just came out and said this next debate is just going to be basically him taking his choice of who to possibly have as a running mate. You know what I'm saying? These are the June bugs, right? So, without this working, they have to make this push somehow. And, it's not only them, but it's also the media recently coming out and floating blackouts as a way to fight climate changes and the strain on energy. These same people telling you to, get rid of your gas stove, get rid of your gas fucking hot water tank, and drive electric cars, or floating around the ideas of blackouts. And not only that, but they also they expect you apparently to be compliant to the point of being miserable, cold, and hungry in favor of the state looking good, to trying to fight climate changes for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the state. And the best thing you can possibly do for yourself is start growing some food, move out of the city, purchase ammos and firearms, and think for yourself at this point. Read some books. The Foxfire series is great. It teaches all aspects of survival outdoors and off the grid. All right. But of course, as always, you guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Come by, argue with me in the comments, or just tell me to fuck off. Smell you later.
I was going to foot him.
Idiots.